Good evening, everyone. I am Janet B. Bila, your one of the reporters for tonight. My topic is all about the challenges of popular literature. For my objectives, at the end of the discussion, students are expected to first identify the challenges of popular literature, and second, be able to find possible and potential ways to overcome these challenges. For my introduction, literature is in crisis. People don't read anymore. Even if there's few hangers on, but even we read less than others used to, I freely and gladly acknowledge that change is inevitable. The question is, what changes are good and which are to be fought? Literature is worth fighting for, but the literati are contributing to their own demise in many significant ways. Here are the challenges of popular literature. So, po- so first is the postmodernism. Postmodernism literature and theory have assisted in its decline mainly because postmodernism argue that text and meaning are inherently separate. Can't get there from here. It's all subjective. It doesn't mean all writing is lying. The second challenge is the mass media. There is a lot more to do in our free time to read, most of which is easier than reading. Reading is a task that requires time and effort usually, right? You can't pitch convenience or speed to someone when discussing literature. Movies are more action-packed, though usually watered down. TV entertains, video games excite. The internet always has a myriad of things to do, so why read? That's exactly my point why mass media is a challenge to popular literature. Next is lots of books are bad. They just are. Sadly, it's usually the brain candy that sells because it's so sweet and that's fine. After all, it's what popular literature intended to do, to entertain, right? But it won't satisfy. Bad works of literature negatively affect the works that have lasting merit. People who have had a bad experience reading rarely try again to enjoy it. So, another challenges of popular literature is the rise of other academic subjects. English is a major in decline in most places because there are a lot more options for a scholar these days. International relations, biology, art, political science, philosophy, languages, women's study, and many more. I'm quite pleased that there are so many other courses for people to pursue, but it's taking its toll on literature. And the other challenges of popular literature is no automatic connection to a job after college. College at its core is not job training. Go to college to learn, young students, and become a better person. Money is only money. If you graduate and you don't have a job right away, that's fine. You will find one if you apply yourself during school. The disciplines that have an automatic field ready made for the graduate are few. Parents play a major role in this category with the obligatory. If college is not the time in one's life when one can feel free to explore, learn and grow by trying out a variety of things and find out who one is without worrying about benefits of salary, when is, right? So this is a challenge to popular literature. So another challenge is inaccessibility. If a work of literature is dazzlingly brilliant, but no one can understand it, is it good? This is a question raised by books like Ulysses, The Sound and the Fury, Gravity's Rainbow, and lesser works like The Black Envelope. when the author writes above the common reader's ability to. They cannot access to popular literature. So another challenge is overly academic language. Academics have invented complicated terminology for everything. This is not necessarily something bad. Terminology often aids specificity and education. However, when academic vocabulary gets out of hand, and it can, then a piece loses its utility. I find this all the time in literary criticism. Critics like to condescend to their readers. The arrogance of this is outrageous and wrong-headed. This is one of the challenge of the popular literature, the overly academic language. And the last challenge of popular literature is the death of aesthetic. This problem become glaringly obvious because many people do not appreciate arts. They are busy on working and business. Now the question is there a solution to all these problems? Yes, and it's quite simple, as most good answer are literature itself. The very best thing a literary scholar or professor can do is get out of the way of the works. So many books I've read have changed my life. There are multitudes of brilliant novels, short stories, and poems out there to be read. And not all of them are long and complex. The purpose of the literature is to make literature clearer, more profound, and more able to be grasped, and be ought to make literature fun. Because the reason we like to read is it's fun, right? It's enjoyable. If it's not these things, one can just as easily find something else that is fun. Perhaps this is this too is what is happening to literature. But the use is only one book, story, poem, or even painting, sculpture, musical piece, or song away. This can answer or overcome the challenge of popular literature. So that's all. That's all are the challenges of popular literature. First is modernism, postmodernism. Second is mass media. Third is lots of books are bad. Price of other academic subjects. No automatic connection to a job after college. And accessibility. Overly academic language and that of aesthetic. So here is my references. Thank you very much everyone and good evening.